One of the most common things that entrepreneurs go through that they have such a difficult time is the beginning stages of trying to make it work. And of course, along the whole process, it's going to be a grind. There's going to be things that are going to be easy and come naturally. And there's also going to be things that are going to be a little bit difficult. And it might be physically difficult, might be mostly mentally difficult. And what we have to try to do is figure out what is it we can start to do to enable ourselves to start to see the success and do the things that we need to be doing in order to reach the goals and achievements that we really want to be reaching. And what's interesting is that in entrepreneurship, there's so many levels of growth that are happening. Number one is just on the business level. What is it that you're going to be doing? And what's cool about entrepreneurship is you can start to play a game with yourself and start to see success in a way and actually measure it. While in other areas of life, it is so difficult to measure success. For example, in your relationship, so you might be feeling good with somebody else in terms of a relationship that you have, but how are you really measuring it? Because some days it might be good, some days it might be bad. And what we have to try to do and try to figure out for ourselves is what is it that we are really measuring when it comes to our success, when it comes to entrepreneurship. And what we have to realize that when it comes to our success, we have to try to figure out what is the path we're going to get on to get there. And for so many people, there's so many people who are struggling just to be able to get onto the path to enable themselves to even start to figure out what it is that's going to be. And I remember when I first started on my entrepreneur journey, I was so confused and taken back really about how difficult it really was. And that was something that was so tough for me because I knew I wanted success. I knew I wanted to be able to make money. I thought I had it in me to be able to just do the things that needed to get done. But I didn't realize that there are micro skills that need to happen in order for those things to manifest themselves into the ideal, product that you want to be monetizing. And what we have to start to figure out for ourselves is what is it that we need to be doing in the beginning? And I was recently going through something and I was talking to one of my mentors, and she said something really interesting. I never heard it before. And what she said, it totally made sense. And she says that one of the seasons that I was in is that I was throwing just lots of spaghetti at the wall. And what the idea is that as entrepreneurs, there are certain times that you're trying to make something work and it's just not working. And you have to just get yourself to be able to keep trying and keep pushing yourself through it and really just constantly coming in with that enthusiasm and that excitement to be able to see that success that you want in that specific area. And she says it happens along the whole way. And what we have to realize as entrepreneurs is that if we want to be able to see that success, if we want to be able to reach that next level, it's constantly looking to throw that spaghetti. It's constantly looking to try that new idea, to try that new angle, to try to figure out what it is that you can start to do to enable yourself to get there. And you hear the big quote unquote gurus, and it's interesting because I think they're the gurus that the quotes on them, but I think they're actually gurus out there who are you can actually tell are looking to help support you and really help you get on that path. And whether it's the passion that they speak about, the experiences that they have, you can hear a theme that really comes through all of their stories is that it wasn't easy, that they didn't have it just made out for them. And each one has their own story and their own journey. And what we have to realize is that we're not the guru yet because we're still on our journey to get there. And what's interesting is that guru is going to be a level 2 guru and a level 3 guru and level 4 guru. But what we have to realize is it's that we're building that muscle to be able to penetrate and to be able to go through those difficult times. It's trying to figure out how is it we're going to make that spaghetti stick on the wall? How is it that we can try to figure out what it's going to be? And I think that's why most people can't even get to level 2 of entrepreneurship because it is so difficult. The expectation is just so off with what it is we really need to be doing in order to be able to start to achieve the goals that we want to start to achieve. And if we can start to be more realistic with ourselves and start to say, hey, you know what? There might be about 15 or 20 different ideas I have until I hit success, if I'm lucky. Imagine that. Imagine, would you still do it? Would you still do it if you had the same excitement and enthusiasm 15 to 20 times? And that's what we need to start to figure out for ourselves. Is it going to be worth it for us? Is it something we want to be able to put ourselves through? And I think, future version of yourself, successful version of yourself is like, yeah, of course. You're going to have to go through the hard times. You're going to have to do it. We all know we're going to have to do it. But yet when it comes to us, and it comes in different shapes and sizes, and it comes with different fears and different, obstacles that are just popping up out of the blue, not knowing whether it's going to be something that, I didn't realize something is going to cost so much money, or I didn't realize that I can't do that. Or, maybe I just didn't realize how difficult mentally it was going to be. We have to realize that these bosses are going to pop up in different ways. And regardless of how they pop up, it's the consistent push that we're going to have that's going to help us see that success. And the scary part is that you can't see the other side of it because you're not there yet. And I think for so many people, because they're not there yet, or because they can't even feel it or taste it yet, there's this belief and trust that's going on within them. Is it really possible? Is it really true? Can I be the one that can get to the other side? Can I become that boss and beat that boss to get to the next levels? Is that something that is something that I made up of? Maybe the whole thing is a scam. Maybe I'm not. Nobody's able to do it. Maybe people really did get lucky. Maybe the gurus aren't real. And what we have to ask ourselves when it comes to a question like that is, which way is going to serve you better? Yeah, maybe it is all fake. So then what? So what are you going to do? Just going to give it up? You're going to throw in the towel? You're not going to try anymore? You're only going to work when you're inspired and you're excited, when you have the energy, when you're not tired, when you're not cranky, when you're in a good mood? No, that's unrealistic. And we both know that. What we have to try to figure out for ourselves is, what is it we can start to do to enable ourselves to start to see the success that we want, to push through regardless of what's happening. And if it's the mindset of, is it really possible, versus let me keep throwing spaghetti, only one of those is going to help support you on your journey. Because I bet you'd rather be somebody who was throwing spaghetti their whole life versus somebody who, after 3 tries, ended up throwing in the towel and decided, you know what, I'm just going to do the thing that I want. If it's, the classic examples, I'm going to go get a W2 job, and I'm just going to be able to, make it easy. And, I won't have necessarily the most, fascinating life. I'll have an okay life. I'll have, good relationships, and I'll have other good things. But the dreams of who I wanted to become, not just financially, but who as a person wanted to become, okay, maybe it wasn't so realistic. And I honestly think most people think that way. Most people don't really believe that they have the ability. And it's so unfortunate and so scary. And what we have to try to figure out for ourselves is, what is it we can start to do? How is it we can get ourselves in a position to start to think and believe and to take action the way that we want to be able to take action, to do the things that we want to be able to do? Because for so many people, they get so scared. They get so frightened. They don't have the people around them supporting them. And everyone's telling them that they're crazy. And it's just another idea and another idea. And they're wasting so much time, and more, for some people, more importantly, they're wasting so much money with what it is that they're spending on. And they don't realize that there's other things that are going on as well. And sometimes we think when we throw the spaghetti and it doesn't stick, it's just a failure. But we don't realize, no, there's certain skills we're building. That every time I throw a piece of spaghetti, there are certain things that I'm doing, certain motions, certain actions that I'm taking. I'm getting a little bit better at my marketing. I'm getting a little bit better at my product. I'm getting a little bit better at sales. And what we have to realize is that there are many skills that we are building along the way. And it could just be a skill deficiency. We don't have the right skills yet to be successful. And what we have to start to realize is, the more we take the action, the more skills we're going to be able to take. And the more we can put ourselves back in there, we're building the physical muscles, we're building the mental muscles, we're being educated. And that's the thing that's going to help us be able to get to the next level. And the hardest part is that you're going to feel like you're alone. You're going to feel like you're scared. You're going to feel like you're just by yourself, because even the people who are supporting you don't really get it, because they're not you. The people who want the best for you don't get it, because they're not you. They don't have the same pressure that you're putting on yourself. They don't have the same pressure of other external things that are going on, the other responsibilities that you might have on yourself. And guess what? Nobody's going to be able to understand it and truly get a full picture. And even if you can explain it and talk about it to your friends, and you have somebody who's such a good listener, guess what? After that conversation, they might be able to move on. But we both know that you're the one who's continuously living with it. You're the one who wakes up with those thoughts on your mind. And you're the one who can't go to sleep at night because you have those thoughts on your mind. And what we have to realize is that regardless of those thoughts, and regardless of the amount of times that we continuously look to push and we get pushed back, And every time we think we figure something out, we get pushed back 2 steps further. Is that if we have to keep pushing, we have to keep moving forward, we have to continuously look to get better at what it is we're looking to do. Because that's the only way for us to be able to make the difference, to make the moves, and to be the person and do the things that we want to be doing. It's not going to be easy, and we didn't sign up for it to be easy. And the reason why it's not supposed to be easy is because then everybody's going to be doing it, and it wouldn't be a thing that we would want to be doing. The difficulty is what makes it worth it. And when we look back in our lives, however long it's going to take us, maybe it's going to be a year, maybe 5 years, maybe 20 years, we're going to look back and we're going to be so grateful and so proud of ourselves. And guess what? Even then, we can explain and we can talk to people about how difficult it was, but no one's truly going to know because it doesn't happen. People can't understand what it is we're feeling emotionally, how we're beating ourselves up, how we're getting so down on ourselves. And what we have to try to figure out is how is it that I'm supposed to put myself in a position to continuously look to succeed? And I think for me, one of the biggest things, and I didn't realize, I had no idea how important it was until I started to see the support that I was getting. I put myself in a community of people. And it was one of these things that I put myself in the community when I was more optimistic about things, that things were going really well, that I had more direction in my life. And I started to see some success. And I put myself out there. And, being a newbie in the community, I started to add value and started to do things. And I started to become somebody in the community who would, just be around and be able to support, be able to share different things that I was doing to be able to help other people, maybe who were a step or two behind me. And then I had this little break. I had a pause. And when I came back to the community after a couple of weeks, I was so nervous, so scared to put myself back out there. I was I was honestly embarrassed because I came from somebody who was doing so much for this community to somebody who wasn't adding any value to somebody who was now lost and confused. I felt like I didn't deserve to share. I didn't deserve to be the one to really help other people in this journey. And I realized for myself that if I want to be able to do certain things within my life, if I want to be able to get to that next level, I'm going to need that support. And I remember putting my first post in the community after saying, I'm sort of back right now. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm a little confused. I just needed to put this out there because I need to just tell somebody. And I started to get some feedback and support. And my mentor, runs this community, reached out and said, "Please, Bennett, just send me a voice note of you just rambling about what's going on." And I did. I sent a 5 minute voice note, a Loom session, actually, a Loom. And I sent it to her. And the fact that I was able to just have that, to get that off my chest, even if she didn't listen to it, but to just get somebody to just tell me, "Hey, Bennett, you're not alone. Like, what can I do to help support you?" That was that was so powerful. That gave me so much hope. It gave me so much confidence in myself that, you know what, Bennett, like, you're not alone. You can do this. You have the ability of looking to succeed. It's not going to be easy. And guess what? Right now, you're in one of those times where it's going to be a little bit difficult, but you have the ability to move forward. You have the ability to be able to change your actions, to change your energy, to be able to change that view and perspective that you're having. Because when you're down, and you know everything about the down. And it's usually not just in one area, the different areas also. And sometimes you just need to, like, lift your hand up and put it out there and say, "Hey, I need some support." And you're just hoping somebody else grabs it. And if you're by yourself, it's very easy to be by yourself when things are going well. But that's not when you need the support. You need the support when things start to turn down. Need the support when, you know what, something didn't work out well, when you need that feedback. And I'm telling you, if you can surround yourself with people who are looking to help support you on your journey, to get other people to help, you in terms of what is it you need to be doing and support you regardless of the results that's going to really give them. I'm telling you, it could be something that could be so powerful. And the people who are in communities, the people who see that support, talk about how high of a regard it is. And other people are like, "I'm not doing it. That's not for me. That's for the other people." And I'm telling you, if you are somebody who gets stuck, if you're somebody who constantly gets in your head, who's constantly looking to say, "Hey, you know what? Some days I'm in it, some days I'm not in it. I have no directions. I'm just confused." I'm telling you, it could be something that could really be life changing. And I say life changing because the time that it takes for somebody to get back into the game when you're down could be very long. And we've all been there. So it could be a few days, weeks, months, maybe even years to get back into it. And that is something that I feel for so many people, it doesn't have to be that long. And if you could surround yourself by people, other people who've been through it, who know, who understand, who want to support you, there could be no better investment, whatever that investment is, whether it's time, whether it's going to be your support for other people. And what we have to realize is that if we can start to build that and to put ourselves out there, that could be something that could change so much. So if you start to get nervous and you start to get scared and you're just not sure if you just keep throwing the spaghetti, you might be thinking, maybe I'm just a serial spaghetti thrower. That's just who I am. I'm just somebody who just throws spaghetti. I'm not looking for it to stick. I just wanted to constantly throw it. So like I said earlier, like you can be that and you can think that, or you can also think, because thinking is a choice and we could choose which way we want to decide. Which way do I want to pick? Do I want to pick that I'm a serial spaghetti thrower and just constantly throw it the rest of my life? Or do I want to choose for myself that I'd rather be somebody who is constantly throwing spaghetti because I'm not there yet. I know I'm close. I know that there's certain things that are lined up, but it's just not a full puzzle yet. I'm like too close or too far from the puzzle. I have all the pieces. I just have to try to figure out how to put them into one another. Maybe we have some puzzles that are mixed in together with our puzzle, and we have to like take those ones out and try to just figure out, okay, how am I going to really structure this thing to really make it real, to make it neat, to figure it out. And guess what? As long as we keep staying focused, as long as we could keep trying, as long as we could keep pushing and getting ourselves to keep trying, getting ourselves out there, then I'm telling you, you're going to start to see that success. I don't know if it's going to take a week. I don't know if it's going to take 6 months. I don't know if it's going to take 5 years. But the chances of you seeing that success are going to be so much higher by you constantly putting yourself out there. And the reason why I'm sharing all this is because this is something that I go through. Like it's real talk. And it's something that I know a lot of other people go through as well. And just let you know, like you're not alone. There are other people like you. But we all just feel so alone. And what we have to realize is that, maybe we're not so alone. Maybe we're not so unique. Maybe the people who made it also go through this still. They're just used to it a little bit. They're desensitized to it, so it doesn't come up as emotional to them. They're expecting it because they know that's part of the roller coaster. That every next stage of your career, you're going to have these like, what if questions. Should I do this? Should I do that? And that is something that we need to try to figure out for ourselves. I'm wishing you so much luck. Reach out if you have any questions, but just know you're not alone. You can do this. And what we need to just figure out practically is what's the next step? What's the next thing I need to do? Who's the next person I need to reach out to? Who's that community I need to reach out to? Who's that person I need to try to figure out who I can reach out to? And by doing that, we can hopefully get to those places a lot sooner than we anticipate.